មាជិកគណៈបកសង្គ្រោះជាតិប្រាជ្ញាផ្នែកសាមគ្គីក្រុមនានាសង្គ្រោះបម្រើការពារកម្ពុជាខ្មែរព្រមគ្រប់គ្នាទាមទារសិទ្ធិសេរីឯករាជ្យបូរណភាពអធិបតេយ្យខ្មែរប្រស្រីបដូរផ្ដាច់ថែរក្សាមិនឲ្យបរទេសឆ្លៀនពៀនមកត្រួតត្រាសម្បត្តិដូនតាធនធានជាតិខ្មែរ
Good evening. My name is Linda. And welcome. Thank you for joining our show. This is Khmer Youth Voices for Justice. It is part of the CNRP America live TV show. Today is Tuesday, May the 4th, 2021. To all my Star Wars fans, may the force be with you. That's a little bit of American, I guess, culture or part-time for you. So may the force be with you. Before we start, please help to support our petitions, ending impunity for justice in Cambodia. Together, we fight to end impunity, justice for victims of state-backed killing in Cambodia. Until now, hundreds of victims had never received any justice. So please help to support and sign our petitions at change.org. And the petition is called Ending Impunity for Justice in Cambodia. We have a short clip. Please watch over the clip, and then it's explain why we have the petitions, and please support our petitions at change.org.
តើយុត្តិធម៌ឬនីតិរដ្ឋភាព
Between 1975 and 1979, the green rice fields of Cambodia became the killing fields of Cambodia. Over 2 million lives were lost, including the lives of my own parents and many of my relatives. The Khmer Rouge wanted a society that is equal according to them. We still live and we are haunted with the legacy of the Khmer Rouge, which is the culture of impunity that continues to exist in Cambodia today. It is for this reason that we have started a campaign, worldwide campaign, a campaign to end impunity in Cambodia by seeking justice for cases, for the executions, for the killings that are organized, that are backed by the state. Among those cases of state-backed killings are the killings of Chivichir, the very famous trade union leader, Bisep Pilaka, a ballet dancer, of Kemley, an independent analyst, of Chutvuti, a well-known environmentalist, of Venerable Sun Bunthun, who was advocating for the monks to have the right to vote, including workers who demanded fair wages. The campaign will also advocate for governments that are members of the United Nations to put pressure on the government of Cambodia to conduct independent investigations by using universal tools such as the UN Protocol for Independent Investigation. The campaign will also advocate for governments that believe and want to protect universal human rights to impose sanctions on the leaders of the government of Cambodia who are implicated in these state-backed extrajudicial killings. We ask you to be with us, to support us, to be part of a campaign to end the culture of impunity in Cambodia and to find justice for those who have been waiting for justice for their loved ones killed by the state. There cannot be real peace unless there is justice. There cannot be justice unless there is independent investigation. And then take those cases to an independent justice system. Join us by signing on this petition. Thank you.
យើងរួមគ្នាបញ្ចប់នីតិរដ្ឋភាពដើម្បីយុត្តិធម៌នៅកម្ពុជា
Welcome back, and please help to support our petitions ending impunity for justice in Cambodia. So far, we have over 78,175 signatures right now. Please, your support is very important to our campaign. Like I said, ending impunity for justice in Cambodia at change.org. Thank you. And thank you for being here today. Our topic for today is Red Zone, Human Rights Crisis under COVID-19 restrictions in Cambodia. I have two wonderful guests I'm going to introduce soon. One of them, her name is Nalen Smith, and the other one, her name is Kathy Dow. So we have three ladies today on the show. Let me bring Mrs. Nalen Smith out. She is First Deputy Secretary General of CNRPA. She is wonderful. Let me bring her out.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Yes.
Thank you for being here today. I'm going to introduce you. I already said it. You the first Deputy Secretary General of CNRPA, but you did more than that. You are involved with our women affairs, and you are always there for us and uplifting us and supporting us. And for that, thank you. Like being on the show today, you always here for us. So tell us something about yourself.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. And also I make the fly for everybody, and I always put our beautiful lady in the fly show, in the fly, So yeah, so we are the same, so my job is just have people around, especially the women, so and I have, especially now we have this show, for women affair. It's belong to women affair or America. So I involve, and I have to do all the flyer, and I do all the keep track, so how many people we invite, how many guests, and so. Yeah.
Yes, my host is here would not be happen without Nabong Nalen, and also without all the women support in the CNRPA who help from looking for topic, also looking for guests, and basically there's a lot of people involved just to have me up here, to have our guests up here. So for that, one of them is Nabong Nalen. So thank you, Nabong, and also thank you for all the women affairs that in the CNRPA.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you. Let me bring our second guest. Her name is Kathy Dow. She been here before. She from I believe Calgary, Canada. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Good, thank you. You've been here before, so but you haven't been here for the last month. But introduce yourself to our audience.
My name is Kathy Dow. I'm from Calgary, Alberta. I'm from Canada. I am an MOA, which is a medical office administration. So I am a receptionist at a doctor's clinic, which I already received my first vaccination. Woohoo! But other than that, that's basically how my life is. I'm just a 19-year-old working at a doctor's clinic.
And thank you so much for being here, for being 19, and for sacrifice your time and for being here. And I appreciate that. Thank you, Bon.
My pleasure.
Let me put Nabong Nalen back. Okay, Nabong and Kathy, we are back. Our topic for today is red zone. Red zone meaning the red zone in Cambodia, human rights crisis under COVID-19 restrictions. Let me do a little summary of what's going on in Cambodia. Currently, they are under, I believe there's 4 cities that under the lockdown, which is they consider the red zone. So as of today, Phnom Penh, Tak Mau, Siem Reap, and Phao Phait is under the red zone. When it's red zone, meaning that people are locked down, people are not allowed to leave their locations. And not allowed to go to work. The supermarket also closed, so it's a completely ban from leaving their home. So let me, since we're talking about lockdown, I'm in California, in Los Angeles, California. Kathy in Calgary, Canada, and Nabong Nalen is in Virginia. So we have 3 different locations. Let me have, since Kathy, you are away from us. Let you start by sharing how does the lockdown in Canada like?
For sure. So last year when COVID-19 actually started to hit Canada, everybody was in a panic mode. Everybody went to grocery stores, stocking up and all that. And some of them actually ran out of stock of like toilet paper, Lysols, and all like the essential items to sanitize. So when it did happen last year, I was still in school, in college, preparing for my receptionist career, I should say. And when it happened, everything just went downhill because I started to do online learning instead, and it was just a little bit harder than being in person. However, with like the grocery shopping and everything, there was a big lineup, of course, all the way around the building sometimes. And then there would be like a tape measuring to divide 6 feet away from other people. However, some people didn't follow the social distance guidelines, which which got on my nerves a little bit because I didn't want to be that close to anybody, especially, during a huge pandemic. So that's how it first started out. I was always at home 24/7, didn't go out anywhere. And the only place that I went was to work, actually. And then that's where I could grab a little essential items. And because I worked at Shoppers Drug Mart, it's like a little pharmacy with a little retail in the front. So it was a good way to take a little essential needs faster than going to the grocery store.
Is the lockdown something like this?
Oh, no. Not close.
So you wasn't banned from going grocery shopping. You wasn't banned from leaving your home, and they wasn't blocking you from leaving, right?
Yeah, the only barrier we had was going to different provinces, but we could still go only for work.
Got it. Let have Nabong Nalen describe how was the lockdown last year? I believe in the middle of March. How was Virginia?
Well, in Virginia, it's similar to Kati to United States, to Canada, So we all the same thing. It start from last year, March. Yeah. At that time, my workplace was closed, completely closed. But after that, even closed, even though my area, my workplace closed, but they still, give us money, for the salary. And also my husband, the same thing, he had to stay home, work at home. And we don't really have much problem. And also then we start to like go to grocery. We got food, we got rice, we got meat, we got except like vegetable, and fruit, and well, we have plenty of food, store at home. And I have 2 refrigerators. And also once a while, my husband, he had to go to check his office. And also even though me sometime my supervisor asked me to go, to check up, the stuff that left over, because this lockdown is kind of a little bit emergency. But they let us to know ahead, not just completely like close right away. Like they tell us it's not the same in Cambodia. They tell you that tomorrow we lock down, then they just lock it, and people have no plan to do anything. They don't have food to eat, like us. So we know ahead. So we were prepared for everything. So we don't have any problem. Even when we go out, we have the note, the letter from the office or from the boss or supervisor, let us know, or we go to see a doctor. We have the note, everything well prepared. We don't have any problem. And everything good. And even though we go out, we meet the policeman. They ask us, we show them the paper, and they let us go. And they just ban that we cannot like socialize, with many people, or like more than 5 people at that time, like a years ago, last year. Yes, so we're not allowed to have like more than 5 people. And all the restaurant closed, and the grocery store open. So except the grocery store and the pharmacies and the doctor office still open, for us. Yeah, and yeah, that's all. We pretty good. We not out of control. We well prepared. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Nabong Nalen. We have Kathy for Canada and Nabong Nalen for Virginia. Let me share my lockdown in Los Angeles, California. I believe, if I don't exaggerate, it's probably March 15. We got I guess the governor of California is called put on a lockdown, which means we're not allowed to go to work. We're working, but we are not allowed to go to the office. Basically, they ban us from gathering. The only people that can go to work or be at the manufacturer, be at the site, is for people that work for what we call essential worker. And those people are work directly related to medical, related to saving people lives, like computer for the hospital, or power supply for power supply generator for the hospital as well. So that's what it's keep going on. So anything that the government classify as essential, people will go to work. So that's a lockdown. And also, so we started working home from March 15. Also, like Nabong Nalen said, grocery store open, pharmacies store is like CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, anything like that. It's open. There are many places that close our restaurant because they don't want you to stay and eat at the restaurant and socialize. So bar as well, they close. Exercise gym, they close the gym. They close the movie theater, and that's about the places that close. And also at night when you have to go to work, then you just need to tell them where you work. And if you get stopped, then you just say, you work at this place. And we also get a note from our company saying that we can travel to work because we are considered essential worker. So that's basically our lockdown. Let's talk about Cambodia. Let's show some picture. I am sure if you following the current event in Cambodia, you would know what the lockdown is. So this is the lockdown, which they have a gate barring you from entering. Basically, then they are afraid for you to even enter. You're not allowed to enter or exit the residential. And that. And we will explain later why are people out there. So this is the condition where people are barred from entering. Let's talking about the COVID-19 number. This is as of since Cambodia ahead of us. Since this is yesterday. So new case is 938 people. So the total infected rate is 16,299 people. People that recover from COVID-19 is 5,791 people. Fatality, meaning people that pass away from COVID-19, is 107. This is as of yesterday. So people that still, I guess, in the process of recover or still in recover, 10,394 people. The word they used in Cambodia is like "kompong samrak jiabao." To me, it's more like misleading. It seemed like it's recovering from jiabao is like you go to a hospital and you try to recover from it. There is no first of all, there's no medication for COVID-19. You just need, it's like a cold, it's like a flu, it's just worse than that. It's just your body is, it's become weak, so there's no miracle pill. The people that when they have COVID-19 that they would take Tylenol to help calm down the fever. And most of the time when people have COVID-19, they have a hard time breathing. That's why you need oxygen. So to saying, I guess, Jiabal is more like if I'm not understanding the word correctly, it's like you are in the hospital to get assistance, like healing or something, but it's not supposed to be like that. When people are infected with COVID-19 in America, if you get infected, they would put you in quarantine for 14 days and you would be staying home to quarantine to make yourself better. You only go to the hospital when you could not breathe anymore and you cannot control your fever anymore. That's when you're in the hospital, and that's when the hospital, I guess, the oxygen tank coming in. If I'm not, am I all correct, Kathy, since you are in the medical field?
Yeah, that sounds like pretty much all of it.
Yes. Yeah, so in America, when you get sick from COVID, majority, I can say that people stay home, take care of themselves, make sure they can control their fever, make sure they eat right, eat properly, and after 14 days, the reason they quarantine you for 14 days because that's what it called the infections period. I mean the contagious period, meaning within those 14 days, if you move around, you will pass that to other people. And after 14 days, even though you're still sick, you are not in the contagious area, you are not in the contagious time frame to pass that virus to other people. I believe CDC cut it to 10 days now. Instead of quarantine for 14 days, they only let you quarantine for 10 days in America.
Okay.
Let me go to our first questions. Actually, a second question. Since we already compare about how the lockdown in America. Now let's go to the second questions. On the line, how do you feel when you see the lockdown in Cambodia?
Oh, it's very sad, and I just look at that. You see the boy in the corner, yeah. But I mean, I don't familiar this area, Is it a red zone, right?
Yeah, it's the red zone.
Oh, it's a red zone. Yeah, this is very sad for Cambodia people, So you can see that well, these these people, was locked down in the one's area without knowing ahead, So how can they do that, So I believe that every country, in United States, Canada, or Australia, that before they lock down, they have to announce or let people know ahead, either from TV or newspaper, or by radio, so people can well prepare. So this situation is very worse, So you can see that people cry and they have no food to eat. They have no water. They don't have utility, electric, or I mean, I don't know what can people do, and you think that they're gonna survive. So I know that this lockdown they start since April 19, and it is very strict lockdown, in Phnom Penh and Takmau and Prasiano and one more place. What is Poi Pat?
Okay.
Poi
I
Pat
think
is in
Popeye just put it on
yeah
recently.
in Battambang province. So this is just completely wrong, so nobody cannot do that. This is, I don't know, the dictator Hun Sen did that, so I don't know what is in his mind. And people in that red zone, they have been prohibited from leaving their house to get food, even though they have no food. Well, actually, no, Cambodia, like me, I know exactly, so they, most all the poor people have no refrigerator. So they just go to the market every single day, and like this case, like poor people, they don't have refrigerator. How can they have food, so they have to get out from the house to get food, or to get medicine, or to get something that necessary for their family, so they was prohibited to stay home. And usually, even though here, when the government uh, prohibit us, to stay home, ban us not leaving home, and they will provide us like money, or something maybe. But Cambodia, no, they did not give them anything. So you can see like people crying, and they put the sign when they stand up, they put the sign, they said that no food, we are hungry, we scared that we're gonna die because of no food, and not because of the COVID, because of no food. See in here, you can see the sign, and it said that my village have no food. They said that, and I don't know how can they what the government gonna do with that, So it's very sad, So I just stop at this point.
Thank you, Nyapmong. Um, when you brought up that people are going grocery shopping, I mean, go grocery shopping each day, what I thought was, yes, correct. It's a custom that we go, that Cambodian goes grocery shopping each day. But at the same time, what my thought was, the reason people go grocery shopping each day, because that's what they can afford. They living paycheck to paycheck,
Yeah,
and it's not. I mean, some people just it's accustomed to getting fresh meat and fresh vegetable each day. But for people that work in the garment sector, work in a factory, the factory have been closed due to COVID-19, so money is very tight. Going grocery shopping each day, it's just enough just to put food on the table, and that's also why they going each day. Let me add Kathy. Kathy, you are pretty young. How do you feel about the lockdown in Cambodia?
Honestly, the way that they did it, I just find it very inhumane. I just feel like how they close all the barriers just right then and there with no notice. It just felt like we're just I don't want to say pets, but that's how I would feel. Like they just locked us in one spot with no food, no essentials, no essential needs for our health, our family. We have no income if they don't. And like what they needed to provide, like farming wasn't essential to them, and they just blocked it all. And it's just so disgusting and so sad, and how people like that the people of the government decided to like shut it off then and there, not giving them anything, no resources. And it just makes me feel lost. Like if I was there, I felt like I would have no power to like speak out. Even though I am speaking out there, it could just end up in a horrible way, going to jail, having a fine or something like that in Cambodia. So the way that they're treating the lockdown is not great, in my opinion. They could have done better.
I agree. Let me read sections from the Amnesty International regarding the government. Um, this report came out on April 30th. It said millions of people in Cambodia are already suffering serious economic hardship after a year of pandemic. For many, this mismanaged lockdown has brought them to a basically a humanitarian crisis. So many people lack of food because according to my note, it's lockdown since April 14. So that's since Khmer New Year. Um, let me read a little bit of the information that I have. According to Amnesty International, let me read the number again. In Phnom Penh, it's estimate 87,000 households, which is consists of 300,000, almost 300,000 people. That's in Phnom Penh, and also in Presianu, the red zone cover almost 5,000 households, which is equal to almost 24,000 people. So when you add it all up, that's like almost 400,000 people without any food since the 14. During on April 24, 10 days after the lockdown, Ministry of the Economy, I think his name is On Manirot, he established a strategy. So 10 days after the lockdown, they established a strategy and policy to assist and help the people in the impacted areas. If you have no food for 10 days, I think it's called starving. You cannot leave your home. You cannot go anywhere. And finally on the 24th, Ministry of Economy just got a plan. And also on the 24th, they start passing out food. Let me see. I'm not sure they're selling food or they're passing out food. So the people did not get the help until April 24, 10 days later. But also the regime also extended the lockdown. The lockdown is supposed to be for 14 days. They also extended one more week to May 5th, which is May 5th is today in Cambodia. But yesterday, the regime announced that they will end the blockage in Phnom Penh and Tak Mau from May 6th forwards. I mean, after May 6th is the lockdown going to be lifted. But I didn't see the plan because the regime have three different color of the restriction. Let me show you the map. I showed it earlier, but let me show you the map of the lockdown. So there's three color. There are red color.
Zoom it, right? You cannot zoom it, right?
No, I cannot zoom it. I don't know how to zoom it. Let me see. No, it's that's how. I think this is the zone in Phnom Penh. So they have the red zone. So the red zone is consists of this color coded came out, I believe 10 days or 14 days after the actual lockdown. So the color red stands for high risk of transmissions of COVID-19. And then you see dark yellow. It's called moderate risk of transmissions of COVID-19. And then you see the color yellow. It stands for low risk of transmission of COVID-19. So I'm not sure when it's say on May 6th, they're going to lift up the blockage. I'm not sure, is it lifting up on the yellow color or dark yellow or red? But when people are, let me read those who violate the restricted measure regarding travel will have their vehicle temporarily impounded, and they may be subject to arrest and prosecutions under the COVID law. So they managed to pass the COVID law. And also when you are in the red zone, you can see you in the red zone, traveling is completely banned. So that's the purpose of why they did the block on the street, because they don't want to travel. They don't want anybody moving in or going out. Let me see, they said on the dark yellow, travel is permitted on the dark yellow. It's allowed, but on the yellow color, it's allowed without restriction, but also it have curfew from 8 to 5 p.m. When 8 p.m. to 5 a.m., it have a curfew on that. So finally, after 10 days, we got some relief, food pass out, and that's also food pass out because of international community. Like Mr. Sam Rangsi also said it on TV, people and citizen in Phnom Penh or citizen in Cambodia need to write down to the world food, right? And people coming out of their house with sign, let me put them on and then let me read them and translate them. She said her stomach is growling. It's worse than the COVID-19 virus itself. That's if I translate it correctly.
Yeah, you're right.
And let me see. Let me put up a sign. And on the lines already read this sign already. It said, "My town have no food."
Yeah.
And they said, "My town has no food since April 10, 2021. So this is April 10. So we were talking about April 14. So this sign is like telling the world community they have no food since April 10. So this is before New Year. Let me see. This is the same sign that my town have no food. Let me see. We try to find a different sign. Oh, let me play a video of let me play a video. So this video, it's saying that they cannot leave their home because of the blockage, and these people are waiting to get donation to get food, and that's what's going on. Let me send you another video. I think this one have a voice. So what she's saying is that she has no food. She asking for the regime to send help. So that's what they're asking right now. I mean, that's the video asking. You see that people are basically obeying the law and not leaving, looking at the conditions and also looking at there's no food in their tummy. On the line, can you help me? When was the last time you were starving and you have no food?
Oh, yeah. So,
Do you ever experience that?
yeah, thank you, Linda. And I'm glad you asked these questions. So I just mentioned a little bit about the lockdown in Cambodia. And you can see, well, we don't have picture right now. So we can see, you see the lady that had the label, she pregnant. And she had the label in the corner, on the sidewalk. That is terrible, because this lockdown, even though the lady, she had to deliver the baby, she cannot go to the hospital. She had to have the baby on the street, on the ground. That's that is bizarre, about that. Yeah, well, I think this is this lockdown, for my perspective, I think this is not the lockdown. I think this is the plan that the dictator to plan to do that. This is killing. We call killing. So I'm worried about that. It's gonna be the second killing field start again, so it's go back, recall to my old time when I was I think I was 12 years old, and I was in the Pol Pot regime. It's the same thing. The starvation, that's to kill people. So in Pol Pot regime, so I think both of you was not born yet, right? Is that
Not
right?
yet.
Yeah, was not born yet. So yeah, you know, I went through already. So it very painful, and this is a nightmare for me. In my whole life until now. And so the way they kill people, first thing they they kill. They bring people and kill in the forest or somewhere that we don't know. And the second killing is they make people sick. Sick, so that they cannot get up. They cannot walk, something like that. And the third one, they make people work, overwork. It too much work. I mean, you cannot. It's just like in here, we work 8 hours, right? But in that time, no time, just work all the time. And you have to carry a lot of stuff, on your shoulder, on your head. And the fourth one is starvation. This is the worst thing in the world. So all these 1, 2, 3, 4, the way they kill people, the number 4 is the worst one. You know why? Because they don't kill people because they kill people directly. Like they use equipment kill people. So everybody will know that, oh, they kill, right? But the way they do, they make people starving. That's the way. It's good for them to kill people. So that's why go back to this Hun Sen regime. They do the same thing. They do exactly the same thing. That's why I use my imagination. I can see that time, I have no food to eat. We have rice only one feet like this, and they put in the big pot like this, the big pot. Can you imagine how can we survive, with like that? So yeah, like my uncle and my nephew, my cousin, they all die because why? Because starvation. They have no food to eat. Now this is exactly the same. They do that. They don't allow people to get out to get food. If they think that, oh, you stay home, don't go out, you will get infected with the COVID, right? But you have to let them to get food, or at least this is your responsibility to give people food, because you're the one, the Hun Sen, he the one that locked the country, so he had to have people to provide people the food. He cannot do that. So yeah, my time. So that's why Mr. Samaransi said the same thing. Yeah, this is kill people. This is killing field. Second killing field by doing this. So but eventually people will know that who want to kill them. So they know that people will know about that. Yeah, so I'm glad, to hear that they distribute the food to Cambodia, and I hope they will get, because one article that you sent to us about Amnesty International, they have received alarm, and they report that even though humanitarian NGO, they not allow them to bring food to distribute to people. They not allow them to get in. But now they I think they open, because the appeal from us, from outside, from Mr. Rancy, he have been report to, for help from uh, uh, United Nations or something, maybe. So I'm glad that they get some food. I hope so. Thank you.
Yes, they did somehow, they got some help, but also it's not, um, they got the help from the international community. Also, they get help from the regime itself, but at the same time, there's a lot of like, they talking about discriminations on how they pass out the food. If you are on the CPP, you probably get help, but if you're not, then you're gonna still go out and be starving. Kathy, have you been starved for 10 days before?
I wish I can say yes, but I have not.
Yeah, I have not experienced starving, and also we are so used to having refrigerator at home. We are so used to having food packed in the fridge and can last us months. But at the same time, we don't have lockdown like that. And also, when you're looking at Cambodia, it's a mismanagement. It's mismanagement meaning um, it's not I'm not going to say mismanagement. They managed that situations. They put on a lockdown. That's what they manage on the capacity of how worse the situation was. They might not thought it through that it's going to be really bad. But at the same time, when you lock people up, I mean, when you lock down and disconnect and not letting anybody going in, the supermarket is closed. All the supermarket in town are closed for 14 days. It's not something that Cambodian get used to, and nobody get used to, for no announcement, and also not many people have the luxury of having a refrigerator at their place. So this is a humanitarian crisis, meaning people are starving. And like I said, not until the 24th, which is 10 days later, that the Ministry of Economy start thinking like, oh, maybe we should get food to people. That's also after the international community complaining, like us complaining, and Mr. Samrangsi begging everybody to from inside Cambodia to send a message, to send a Facebook message, to write down to the food world and send a message that they are starving, and which they did, and help is there, but it's not enough. So Bong Nalen, since you are a little older than us and older than Kathy, why does this lockdown consider is a human right crisis?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. So yeah, we are human being. We know that we survive because why? Because we have to eat. Without food, you think you're gonna survive? No. Even me, last time I had a procedure, only one day I just don't have food one day. Not because I don't have food, but I'm not allowed to eat one day. Only water. I was almost faint. It's just only one day without food. I almost faint. How come people have no food like 4, 5, 10 days? I don't believe that.
Bless you.
Yeah, and this is so people this is very crisis in Cambodia, because like it's gonna bring people have a lot of problem, because since our body, if we talk about the body, so first of all we have to eat, right? We have to eat good food. Yeah, good food to make us strong, to make us healthy. Yes, so we can do a lot of stuff. So without food, what you think, you will become weak, your immune system weak, so suddenly you will get sick, everything. If your body like for example, like COVID-19, if your body, it's not everybody will get COVID-19, right, Kathy? You know that. So but if your immune system weak, so you will get right away, but if the people that next to you, sometimes they fight back because their immune system strong, so they can fight back, so they can help themselves. But for the people that like Cambodia, the red zone area, I know that after that, I hope, these things it's not gonna happen, and but I use my imagination that people are gonna get sick a lot because they have no food. They might get sick, yeah, something like that. That's very sad, about to see this situation. Yeah.
Thank you, Mong. Kathy, can you help, since you are younger than us, can you help why this is human rights situations when this lockdown, why do we consider this lockdown a human rights crisis?
For sure. So with human rights, it basically means our essential needs: house, water, electricity, etc., etc. And if we don't have any of those don't have any of those necessities, we won't be able to survive. like, yeah, we can survive with water, but for how long? We need proteins, we need calcium into our body so we can actually get motivated and, you know, have the energy to do stuff. But like, you know, if we don't have the certain necessities for our immune system, we will eventually slowly, our energy will die off and we won't feel normal as we did before. So having the food, water into our like human rights is basically one of the most important things to give and to have. And if Hun Sen or the government is not helping them, you know, us fellow Cambodians there with no food, no necessities or whatever, then what's the point of having human rights there if you're just going to take them all away?
Thank you. Yes, that is basic human rights when people have food, have water, clean water to drink. Those are just basic rights that as a person you need to. Let me show a little clip on what happened when you don't follow the law. Okay, it's like what people say. Why can't you just go out? Let me see. This is what happened when you don't listen and you try to sneak out of the red zone. So they tie your hand and this is how they enforce the law.
Oh, yeah.
That's how they enforce the law. So this is not just lockdown, this is lockdown and beat up as well. And this is the report from the let me see, what is the company? The from Amnesty International, it say authorities in Cambodia clearly need a radical rethink of their COVID-19 suppression effort. Human rights must be at the core of this revised approach, and meaningful open cooperations and with national and international partnership, including humanitarian actors. So basically, she's saying they need to rethink this lockdown. They need to rethink this COVID-19 situation lockdown. The way they are doing right now, it's not correct. And also, let me read a little bit. The purpose of the lockdown. Along the line, what's the purpose of lockdown? Why do they have lockdown?
Oh, I think it's just let's say start from the COVID-19. I think, you know, a COVID-19.
Yes, the lockdown is to control the COVID-19.
A pandemic, yeah.
Yes, it's to control the COVID-19. But
yes,
but it's the opposite right now.
No, it's the opposite. I can see the opposite, you know. And this is you see the picture before that is abusive, you know. They abuse people a lot, you know. So this is not a lockdown. Lockdown, you have to the way you have to control, you know. You have to you know, to make what is the best way for people to control, you know. You just ban them, you know, not socialize together, you know. It's very simple, you know. But this is absolutely not. This is, they plan to kill people. That's all I can say, you know. Yeah, I can see my visual, I can see like that, you know. So by starving people, you know, starving people to death, that's it, you know. I can see.
I actually saved a map. It didn't show. It's actually the reason they're doing lockdown right now is to help to contain the virus. But unfortunately, when you're seeing the number, yesterday the new number is 938 people got infected. I'm not sure. Do you recall along the line last year from January 2000 to January 2021, not even like 5,000 people infected the whole year. But now, since this lockdown, it's not helping. It's not benefiting.
It's not helping at all. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 938 people infected yesterday. That's the new infection rate. So
Right.
clearly, it's not 3 weeks of lockdown, 3 weeks of starvations. It's not. It's not helping. Let me see.
It's not helping, and also it's very dangerous, let's say for example they lock down people in one location, that they cannot get out to do something, or to get medicine. If one person get infected by COVID-19, it will spread for everybody, and everybody gonna die, they will die by starvation or by COVID-19.
This picture clearly show people are starving. People need food,
Right.
and that's not going to help with COVID infections. When
Oh,
people it's how when people are staying home, people have food and people are being taken care of. Not when people coming outside and asking for food. As this is worse than the this is worse than COVID. Like this lady have a sign. Her stomach is crawling. It's worse than the COVID-19 itself.
right.
Kathy, I know you don't really read Khmer number, and from when I read to you like 900 new over 900 new infections, does the lockdown in Cambodia help reduce the number at all? Does it help at all?
No, not as much. Like you said, between early last year, not that much people got infected. As soon as this lockdown happened, everybody is starving. They're gathering together. There's no social distance. So that's why I feel like with people clumped down together as one big crowd, they're going to have more COVID infections than it already is. So, sorry. So with the COVID-19 situation, I don't think it will reduce as much as we think. It will ensure people's safety, but there's not that much safety if people keep going out in big crowds asking for food and getting infected, because you don't know who's infected there or not,
Yeah, let me
So
see.
it is like a high risk.
Yeah, so this video is showing all those home are being locked down, and these people are just waiting for donations. How the purpose of the lockdown to stay home, the purpose to lock. So if the regime won a lockdown, they should at least contribute food, help with money. And let me see, I have a video, I have one.
And you can see there is no social distancing at all,
No,
so how can people have, virus?
this video is showing, even though you in lockdown, the people at the banks coming to make sure you pay them. So that's the video. I mean, don't go out, don't leave your home. Your stomach is crawling, but the bank didn't forget you. The bank didn't forget that you owe them money, and so I believe the regime is going to help with water, electricity for 3 months if you've been infected. I'm not sure if that's still the plan or not, but that's what this announcement. And also earlier was announcement that the government going to help with. I'm sorry, it's not the government. The regime is going to help with money, but at the same time, that they don't have any plan on passing out money anymore. So right now, if you're lucky, you get rice, soy sauce, I guess, fish sauce. That's the help from the regime. Let me see.
I heard that the government, I mean the regime, the Hun Sen regime, we cannot call him government, this is bad, So I heard that he gonna give people 350,000 real. I don't know how much for United States dollars. Uh, I never
I think
calculate,
4,000
Yeah, I never
real
calculate that.
in dollar.
So anyway, yeah, he promised that he gonna give people, each person, he gave 350 350,000 real to people. He's a liar. He's a liar. He never give to people even though 1 cent. Even 1 cent, he never give at all. He's such a liar. And he said he promised that he gonna pay uh electricity for people, the the
Water
water,
and
the beer,
electricity.
No, not at all, And I saw one text, I saw from Miss Rosette, So people came to her house, then they said you have to pay the bill, for the electricity something, and say I already did, Why you come to ask me to pay again? And she gave them the receipt, Then they, oh sorry, so they left, That is so
They,
cheat, They're cheat, And I mean this regime, is very bad, very bad. Is a liar, That's all. I hope people
yes,
know about that. So.
yep. Yeah, when what is it? Like you said, the government, the regime plan to distribute cash, but it's canceled. So that is correct. That what you talk about along the line that they do plan to do that, and I do heard that on the news, but they cancel that. So there's no cash. It's only a bag, maybe a box of fried noodle, like cup noodles, soy sauce, and fish sauce. And but the thing is, the regime announced yesterday that on May 6th they're gonna open up, and I'm not sure which areas they open up. And they open up on the yellow, dark yellow, or red, but they are saying that they're going to open up. So hopefully people are getting back to their normal life, and there is nothing normal about it when for the factory worker, for people that working in the factory, because there are over, I believe, over 300 factories have been closed due to COVID-19. So even people are open to go to supermarket, they still have no money to go, because they, even though they're able to roam, able to leave their home, they're able to move around to go to supermarket, but they still cannot afford because there's no income for that. So
Yeah.
people are still starving, and people are they need support from the international community. Um, is there a solution to this along the line? What should they do?
A
People in
solution?
Cambodia.
Yeah, I can find a solution for that, You know what? We have to tell Hun Sen to sell his watch. His watch is $4 million. He have to sell that. He have to sell his watch and give to people, distribute to people. And like Mr. that Sandra, he said his watch, if he sell his watch $4 million, so he can give one family only $100 only, so he can have like uh 40,000 family, so each family you count like maybe 5 people in one family or 6. In Cambodia they have a lot of children, so we count only family, if he said he's what $4 million, so he can have about 40,000 family, so that's the solution. Hun Sen, you have to do that. Yeah.
You know what? He doesn't have to sell his watch. Remember, 6 months ago, he raised over $100 million to buy COVID vaccine. That's like, I believe, either over or close to $100 million just to buy vaccine. But just think about it. China, his friend gave COVID-19 vaccine to Cambodia. He doesn't have to buy it, and COVAX also donate vaccine to Cambodia.
Yeah, I don't believe that. Instead of he does not sell his what he said that oh, you can sell your motorcycle, and get food, how can poor people sell their motorcycle is their life, they use that to carry food, in and out, to supermarket, to the hospital, to pick up children, something. That's their life, It's like we have the car, we cannot go to work without the car, right? We cannot walk, so he just said that you should sell your motorcycle, you will get food. That is ridiculous, That's that's unbelievable, This regime, is makes never improve anything, even though one inch or 1 cent, not at all, Very sad, to see like that.
Yes, it's mismanagement. That's the whole thing,
Yeah.
mismanagement. And
thinking
this
about
whole,
that, so I just feel that I have like my heart is broken. Yes.
yeah, beside the COVID case increasing, in addition to that, leadership is not helping. Leadership is not, basically, it's not responsible for their own people. How can you expect a people like almost 400,000 people in the lockdown for 14 days without food? I mean, without helping, without assistance, basically. That's a short answer, without assistance. Before we end the show, Kathy, you want to add anything?
I just want to know why the regime made a promise that they can't keep. Like, if you say something saying, "Oh, we're going to give you money, we're going to give you food, all these essential items," but not actually do it, they just broke a heart of the people of Cambodia. Like, Cambodia's been waiting for like the donations. They've been waiting for food, essentials, all of that. But once the regime, backed out and not given anything, why would you give their hopes up? Well, why would you say that you would but you wouldn't? And like, you just made all of us more hungry, more desperate. I just want to know why. Like, don't keep a promise you can't make.
Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, that's a lot of questions that I mean, we know why. We know why, it's never enough, no matter how much money flowing into his pocket, his family, and it's never enough. So the leadership does not care about his people. Leadership care about his family line, his connections. That's more important. And the reason why we are here today, hopefully our message across, we need people to stand up. We need people to be able to say, I'm starving, I need food, and make their voice heard.
Yeah, not just only that, he try to confuse people a lot, like let's say I have three words, to mention about that. They said sampatin is like concession, and the word is active is development, and the word is vinayog is invest. Okay, let's go to concession, so he allow maybe Vietnamese or the his group, cut the tree, something like that. Then he said, "Oh, he did not say that. Oh, people are bad. They cut the tree. It's not good, blah blah like that. No, he did not say that. Instead of say that, he said, "Oh, this is concession. Concession. This is the right thing to do. People use the tree, to cut for a specific. Specific purpose. For by government or the company. See that he used the concession word to put on that. So to cover what he's careless about he run the country, and the word like development, what Cambodia they say what, and by he sell the mountain, maybe you both don't know about that because Phnom Boko. Yeah, I went there. It's very beautiful, when it's all the way go to high and you see the foggy, a lot of foggy in there. So by he cannot sell that Phnom Boko directly. So instead of to buy to sell it, he had to build the building, build all the building, and then he can sell it. See that? And the one invest Vinayog like he said the ocean, he said the sea, anything that is belong to the government, belong to people too, or everything in the country is belong to people too. It's not belong to him. So he sell all the ocean and everything, then he said, oh, this is investment, that is not right, so by doing that he changed the word, he changed the word by something else. Then people he want people to follow what he said, that's why yeah. this is the bad thing about him, he not just only the starvation people right now, even everything. I don't know what's wrong with him. That's all.
There's a lot of wrong. There's a lot of wrong
Yeah,
with
a lot of wrong with him. Yeah.
his leadership in particular. What you're talking about is investment, development, all that is really great word, but at the same time, at the end of the day, does not benefit Cambodian people at all. Does not benefit when the word development. They building a lot of buildings. They building high-rise buildings, and how many Cambodian that can actually afford that building? How many working Cambodian family can afford that? Not many. But at the same time, the word development is taking land from their rightful owner and build another
Right.
building on top of that, and that's called development, and selling that
Yeah.
product and making money out of that. Um, so it's great word, great sentences, great word, great, but at the end of the day, Cambodian does not benefit from his development of his whatever the wonderful three word that you just said about the line.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I was looking
No,
at.
I'm just saying those three words as really great slogan.
Yes. Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
great word, if the country, run by excellent government, is great, and these three words, will make your country, brighter in the future, but it turned down by him, yeah, turn this word, make the word turn down and upside down by him. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Nabongalan, and thank you on Kathy for being here today. I really appreciate it. We've got really good discussions on human rights crisis in Cambodia due to the red zone restrictions. Um, Today is May the 5th in Cambodia, so May 6th, the restriction lift. Hopefully people will get back to their normal life, meaning able to go out to get food at the same time. When I'm saying get back to normal, meaning the factory will be open for people to be able to find work and people can afford food. Even though if there's no more lockdown at the same time, there's still no food, and people in Cambodia need support. And to the people in Cambodia, you cannot sit still and expect international community to help. You need to raise your voice, and you need to be vocal about that, and about the support from the outside. Do you have any last minute, Kathy, on the line?
Yeah, I think our people, in Cambodia, people in Cambodia, they have weak point, that they don't stand up. We know that when we talk about that, they always think that, oh, you just said that because you're in United States, you don't know about our feeling. I come from Cambodia too. I used to stand up, fight for, not very bad like that before, but you have to think that even though stand you don't stand up, you still die. You stand up, you still die. Anyway, either way, So like right now, you are they lock you down in one place. Then you will die in one place. Either you get out, you stay inside, you die, or you get out, you survive. That's all. That's why I want to tell to all Cambodia. I cannot have you, Kati. Linda cannot have you. Everybody, Cambodia people in United States, in Australia, in Canada, all over the all over the place. We cannot have you if you don't stand up by yourself. That's all. We just want to say that. We don't want to be mean to you, but we just want to let you know that you look at Burma. White people die a lot because they love their country. They sacrifice their life for their country. So if we sacrifice like that, we will get the justice one day, But I beg people to, I beg you all, you should stand up, for yourself, not for me. I'm here, I'm happy already. I cannot help you. So you have to help yourself. Get out, get food to eat, to live, Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
Thank you, Netbong. Thank you for your encouragement. That's all we wanted. We want all Khmer in Cambodia to stand up to know what their rights, and basically to know their rights, that their rights to freedom of expression, freedom of expression, meaning when you're hungry, you need to stand up and being hungry, not just stay inside and um, hold your stomach tight and wait for support, because like like the story, not the story, the timeline said some places lockdowns in April 10 and some places lockdowns in April 14. So the Ministry of Economy just acknowledged on the 24th they have planned to help the country. So a little too late, but better than nothing. But that's how it showed the leadership have no responsibility for his own people, and basically no doesn't care and concern. Thank you so much, both guys, for being here today, and I appreciate Bong Nalen and Kathy for being here. We'll see you next time, and thank you, Bong. Let me um, thank you for to our audience who've been here for over an hour, and I appreciate you tuning in today. Our discussions was about COVID-19, about in the red zone in Cambodia, human rights crisis under COVID-19 restrictions, and it's clearly show that the regime have no management to manage the lockdown. Like I said, on April 24, after 10 days of the lockdown, Ministry of Economy, Own Money Rod, I think that's full name, came down with a plan to pass out food. So 10 days later, people get some food now. People do have food, but the question right now, when the lockdown is over, will the factory open? Will people able to go to work or not? And when people doesn't not able to go to work, there's another issue where they cannot support themselves. So hopefully the regime has some plan and has planned to support Cambodia. So thank you for being here, and I will see you next Tuesday. Bye.